What's up, everybody? I'm Jonathan. This is Worship Matters, and today we're going to talk about a new hymn that I found. So, in all the a couple weeks ago when I was looking for Easter songs to do, I found this hymn by accident, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds really good." So I figured we'd come back to it now. It's called "Hail to Jesus" or Psalm 110. It's by a seemingly small church, Syracuse Baptist Church. I'll point it out when we get to the video, but I think that they wrote it, which is pretty cool, and it's pretty close to Psalm 110, hence the name Psalm 110. So I have not listened to the song. I think I listened to part of it a couple weeks ago, but I stopped myself so I could listen to the whole thing now, and I don't remember anything about it, so should be good. Before we hop into this, let's look at our worship guidelines. Alright. Directional, musically repeatable, theologically sound, the Bob test, artistic license, and congregational versus personal. So, if you got any questions about those, I did a whole video about explaining each one, what they mean. Go check that out. Links in the description. Let's hop right into it. Syracuse Baptist Church's Hail to Jesus.
Be seated here at my right hand. The Lord to my Lord did command. For of these heathen I will make a kingly footstool for your sake. The Lord shall send your mighty rod from Zion's hill, the mount of God, to smite your foes until they break. But hold among them you must take.
Alright, they're going to get into the chorus. So we got a bass here, got a little flute, got an acoustic guitar, an electric guitar. I don't usually talk about that stuff, but and then we got like a whole choir. I don't know this. I've never seen this hymnal before, but I'd be interested in getting a copy. Little known fact: I have a hymnal collection, which is kind of nerdy, but it's true. I collect hymnals. All right, so we're gonna have to hop out to look at this. All right, so here's the first. Oh man, you can't really even see that, can you? Good grief. Well, I'll read it. It's gonna be hard to see. Fine, we'll do this the hard way. All right, there you go. This might take a little bit into this. All right, be seated here at my right hand. The Lord to my Lord did command. For of these heathen I will make a kingly footstool for your sake. Alright, let's look at Psalm 110. I just happen to have that right here. The Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool at your feet. So we kind of have that. Be seated here at my right hand. The Lord to my Lord did command. For of those heathen I will make a kingly footstool for your sake. So it's more artistic. Until I make your enemies a footstool of your feet. So it's taking this and making it more of a artistically into English. So I don't mind that. You know, that's what a lot of hymn writers do for Psalms. All right, then we had verse 2. The Lord shall send your mighty rod from Zion's hill, the mount of God. All right, let's start with that. The Lord will stretch forth your strong scepter from Zion, saying, rule in the midst of your enemies. So the second part, to smite your foes until they break. The throne among them you must take. So that's not really in there, but it's kind of addition. It's not necessarily untrue. So the mighty rod being the scepter, the rod of David, of Judah, meaning the kingship. So this is obviously a messianic thing, because we have the Lord says to my Lord. So this is David, Psalm of David. So who is the Lord of David that the Lord is talking to? Well, obviously this is God the Father speaking to God the Son. So there you go. So the Father says to Jesus, sit at my right hand. So we have Jesus being highly exalted to the right hand of the Father until he makes a footstool of his enemies. Alright? So, and he's given the scepter from Zion, so Christ will be the ruler of Zion. And he's actually commanded that he will rule in the midst of his enemies. Alright, so let's keep going. Let me fix this. If I had known that, I should have thought about this. Oh well. Alright, let's keep going, shall we?
Hail to Jesus Christ is reigning. All will bow and all will name him.
Okay, drum set.
Jesus, King of kings.
Okay, before they start singing. So that's the chorus. I'm not going to zoom in, it's just the chorus. Hail to Jesus, Christ is reigning. All will bow and all will name him Jesus, King of Kings. So now they're obviously pointing that this is a messianic psalm and that Messiah is Jesus. So they're obviously saying that by implication, which means that Jesus is the one for whom David is referring here. That it is Jesus who will sit at the right hand of God. He is the Lord for which the Lord is to which the Lord is speaking, who will, fulfill all this psalm. So it says, "Hail to Jesus." So they're giving praise to Jesus. We have the directional. Christ is reigning. So it's a statement of Christ currently reigning, which means Christ has already fulfilled this psalm. All will bow and all will name him. So this is referring to a future promise where every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And then it just reiterates his name, Jesus, who is the King of Kings. So I love it. I like how they're not just telling you what's going on, but they've made implications in the way that they're wording these things. So we know who they're referring to. They know that we can kind of put two and two together without actually them having to say two and two. This is how you write a song. You write it in a way that it's very clear what you're saying. Even if you're like taking a hymn and you're rearranging a little bit, I don't mind that if you're taking a psalm and rearranging it for the sake of English, or even if you add some stuff that's not necessarily there, like in the psalm, that's fine. For the most part. All right, we're going to back up just a second. Also, I love the music. I think the music's really well done. I like the folksy sound that they've got going on. And I like the choir in the background. So, I like it.
Upon your head a crown of dew, your morning makes the old things new, and all who see your holy crown will bow before you in that hour. Hail to Jesus.
So that's the chorus, the next chorus. For a moment, I thought they were gonna go to verse 4, but apparently not. All right, here we go again. We'll zoom this in for you. Y'all are getting the good view of this. Actually, hold on a second. If I do this. Okay. Boom. actually not going to fix anything, is it? Alright, hold on a second. Can I do this? No. Alright. Alright, we're back. I don't know how that's going to look for you guys, so I apologize. I think that I will have that better in the future. But for today, I think we've got this fixed. Alright, so verse 3. Upon your head a crown of dew, your morning makes the old things new, and all who see your holy power will bow before you in that hour. Alright, well, it rhymes. Let's look at Psalm 110. Oh, I don't see that, do I? I mean, we see people volunteering. What version is this? American NASB? Let's see what the ESV says. What does King James say in this? Thy people shall be willing in the day of power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast the dew of thy youth. Okay, so that's where the word dew came from. Right there. What does the ESV say? I like to know what everybody's saying about this. Your people will offer themselves freely in the day of your power, in the holy garments from the womb of the morning. The dew of your youth will be yours. And they said, what? Upon your head a crown of dew. Your morning makes the old things new. Okay. Alright, it's not bad. There is a Baptist tradition of skipping verse 3 because it's always the weirdest one. But alright, I'll allow it. It's using words from there even if I don't know that it's in the same context. Okay. It's not... I don't know what you're saying. Like, what is a crown of dew? That's my question. And how does your morning, I assume this is Jesus' morning, making the old things new? Is this like referring to the resurrection, the Easter morning, maybe? I don't know. He didn't say. And all who see your holy power will bow before you in that hour. Sure, I assume this is referring to the chorus, all will bow and all will name him the same, like, and in the end of times they'll see the power of God. Perhaps that's what they mean there. So it's not here. Yeah. Oh, wait. On the day of your power. Okay, so it is here. Cool. So this is just verse 3, sort of. We're switching through the versions, but hey, it's there, sort of. Okay. Again, I don't know what this crown of dew is supposed to be. The dew of your youth is what this says. Oh, it's got Hebrew. Oh, that doesn't help me. Okay. What does the KJV say again? I like switching between these because that can help. In the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. Okay. Well, alright. Not quite sure what that's supposed to mean, but whatever, yo. Alright, NASB. What did they say again? The womb of dawn, your youth, are to you as the dew. Okay. Well, nobody's really clear on what that's supposed to mean, so we'll give it to them. The crown of dew, whatever that's supposed to mean, I don't know. Your morning makes the old new. Okay. Sure. All right, let's keep going. That was a long tangent. This is a pretty short song, to be fair, so. I don't think this is a CCM'd song, so I'm just going to listen to the whole thing, at least for now. Melchizedek, our king and priest, verse 4. Okay, I caught it. Okay. Melchizedek. We don't get his name mentioned very often on this channel. Melchizedek, a kingly priest. In you, his line is now increased. Your life, the offering that you gave, the price was paid. You left the grave. So this could have been an Easter hymn. Let's see what this says. The Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. So, long story short, Melchizedek shows up a couple times in the Bible. I think the first time he appears is to Abraham, and Abraham offers him something. Abraham treats him like a better. So Melchizedek is a priest during Abraham's time, if I'm not mistaken. And Melchizedek is like an intermediary between Abraham and God, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've looked up Melchizedek. You know what? Let's just do that now. This will only take a second. Because there's only, like 7 verses? Okay. It's 14, 18. Okay, so here in, oh, you can't really see much, can you? Okay. Here in Genesis chapter 14, we see Melchizedek. Man. There we go. And this is to Abram. He brought out bread and wine. And he did this. He was a priest of the God Most High. And so this is to Abram before he becomes Abraham. And so Melchizedek is blessing Abraham. So he says, "Blessed be Abram of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth," meaning God. "And blessed be the God Most High, who has handed over your enemies to you." So he's also a king. Melchizedek, the king of Salem, but he's also a priest. So we have this guy who just kind of shows up out of nowhere, blesses Abram, and then leaves. And so it's kind of an odd figure, and like if this was all we had, like that was it. But then he shows up a couple more times, where he shows up in Psalms. Can you see? He shows up in Psalm that we just read. Shows up in Hebrews is the only other time. So in the Old Testament we see him in Genesis, and then in Psalm 110. And then he's so we take it like this one passage where Melchizedek shows up, blesses Abram, disappears for hundreds of years, and then in Psalm 110, David points to Melchizedek as the forefather of the Messiah, the forerunner, perhaps a better way of saying it. and then disappear. His name disappears for another few hundred years, and then Paul in Hebrews, or whoever wrote Hebrews, however you want to put that, picks up that thread that nobody else has talked about, and starts talking about how Christ is linked. Christ's priesthood comes from Melchizedek, and that's basically the whole point of Hebrews, is talking about Jesus as our great high priest. So I think we should talk more about Melchizedek and his priestlyhood. That would make more sense. That would make sense to me. So here we go, or in song. So here we have Melchizedek, a kingly priest. In you, his line is now increased. So it's saying like you are in the line of Melchizedek, in as far as the priesthood goes. So we do see that in Psalm 110. Where is it? Here we go. You are a priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek. So we do see that here. But I think really it's we really see that in Hebrews, and I'm not going to jump over there. You can go read that for yourself. So your life, the offering that you gave, the price was paid, you left a grave. Obviously, we're jumping to the New Testament. So we're using Melchizedek as a bridge to the New Testament, talking about the resurrection. So the price was paid. That's Jesus on the cross. And then he went in and then left the grave. He rose again. So we have the resurrection thrown in there too. I don't think that's in here. We're going to come back to verse 5, 6, and 7. I've already kind of compared the two. So I was wrong. I missed verse 3 as an oversight on my behalf, but I think the rest of it I got pretty well. All right, let's hop back and finish this thing.
The kings who fight against my Lord shall taste his wrath and meet his sword. Upon their corpses he will look, then drink to vengeance from abroad.
Okay. So here we go with the last bit. The kings who fight against my Lord shall taste his wrath and meet his sword. Upon their corpses he will look, then drink to vengeance from a brook. Alright, we see that right in here. The Lord is at your right hand. He will shatter kings in the day of his wrath. He will judge among the nations. He will fill them with corpses. He will shatter the chief men over a broad country. He will drink from the brook by the wayside. Therefore he will lift up his head. So we have the victory of Christ over all of his enemies. So so they go from that straight to hell to Jesus. Christ is reigning. So it's taught like Christ has fulfilled this now. He is reigning. Of course, we'll have the very end, which they say, where all will bow to him and will name him. In the end, all will be forced to submit to the will of Christ. Some willingly, some forcibly. Why? Because Jesus is the King of Kings. So I love it. I think it's a great song. I think they wrote it pretty well. I don't know what all this... Oh, wait. Okay. So I think they're probably just going to repeat the chorus a couple times. Let's see. I did say I was going to watch the whole thing, but... Oh. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so they only repeated it or sang it once. Okay, and then they had like a cool little intro. All right, let's hop back over here to our worship guidelines. All right, directional. So I'd say it's pretty directional. They're singing "Hail to Jesus." So they're telling about the great things that he did. They're setting the story of Psalm 110, and then they're giving him praise, him glory. So I think this is fun. Musically repeatable. It's very catchy, I think. I like the folksy sound that they've made. So it kind of sounds like an old hymn. I like it. Theologically sound, yeah. I mean, it's basically Psalm 110 with a little bit of gospel message in there. So, I can't complain about that. Because we have the death and resurrection of Christ as well. But, Christ is Lord. Hail to Jesus. I love it. The Bob test, yeah. I mean, we know who he's talking about. It's obviously straight from the Bible, so it's obvious who they're talking about. And they actually make it more obvious. Like, in case you didn't realize Psalm 110 was about Jesus, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, it's Jesus. He's the one. He's the Lord of David that the Lord is talking to. All right, so Bob test easy. Artistic license. So there's a couple like the Crown of Dude. I don't really know what they're talking about. They probably didn't know what to do with that verse either. Maybe I'm missing something, and there is a crown of dew in the Bible somewhere. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know. But yeah, I liked it. So we'll give it a little artistic license. I don't know what they're saying. I think they're just kind of dressing up a very difficult verse to understand. All right, congregational versus personal. I'd say this is a fine congregational. I might skip verse 3, but that's a classic Baptist tradition. Yeah, I really like this song. I remember why I liked it. It sounds really good. But not only that, but it really, I think, captures the main idea of Psalm 110 and puts it to music. And great job. So I'd love to get a copy of their hymnal at some point. That'd be really cool. I don't know if they sell it or not, but I'll have to look that up because, like I said, I have a hymnal collection over here, and that sounds like a good one to add to the collection if it's got songs like that in it. But anywho, I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you thought of that hymn. I know the visuals that I had on this video are a little chaotic at best, so I hope it wasn't too distracting for you. But I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you thought of that. Is there any music you'd like me to review? Let me know. I review pretty much anything that's claiming to be Christian. So yeah, we'll if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't, if you enjoyed that video, give us a like, and I guess I'll catch you next time. Peace.